Hello everyone, and welcome to this latest entry in my video series all about how I'm working to overcome my fear of flying through VR. This video is my first attempt to talk about turbulence, what it is, and how I cope with it. Turbulence. There's no denying it. It's one of the biggest causes of anxiety for me when I fly in planes. It's uncomfortable to sit in my seat and feel the plane moving around me. A lot of times it's unexpected, so every jolt or bump can be a scary little surprise. Over the course of the past year, I've learned a few things that have helped me manage my fear of turbulence. I find that the more I learn about flying in general, and turbulence specifically, the more I'm able to let my rational brain take a little bit of the anxiety load off my irrational brain. Along with that, I found some great resources on YouTube that have given me really powerful strategies to manage my nerves when I'm on the plane itself. Finally, I take what I learn about flying and techniques I learn about managing the fear I feel when I encounter real-life turbulence, and I practice those skills inside of virtual reality. I won't say that I've erased my fear of flying. I still have to work for every flight I take, but I will say that the skills I've picked up and practiced over the past year have given me greater control over myself and the ability to think about an upcoming flight and say, I can do this. So first things first, what is turbulence? There are some great videos on YouTube that go into far better explanations than I can give, so I'll go light on the technical explanations for now and link to some of my favorite videos that can give a good description of the science behind turbulence. The short answer, though, is that turbulence is a change in air temperature, density, or direction that can cause bumps or small shifts during flight. There are several categories of turbulence based on how much the plane is affected by it. Most of the time, what we encounter in flight is either light or moderate turbulence. It might feel uncomfortable at times, but it isn't unsafe. Despite the bumps and jolts, despite the weird feelings, the plane is still following a set course. It's not falling out of the sky. Modern airplanes are capable of withstanding even severe turbulence, though they also have sophisticated radar and weather reporting information to try to avoid air that will make the flight too uncomfortable for passengers. Turbulence is a normal part of flying, a fact of life that I sometimes have to deal with, but something that decades of aviation experience have taught us is perfectly okay to fly in. Air is a cushion, and the plane, by design, wants to stay in the sky. Education and aviation knowledge is a great way to reassure myself that turbulence is normal and my irrational fear is just that, irrational. But sometimes my brain and body will still tense up when I feel bumps on a flight. How do I deal with things when I'm actually flying? Well, I've accumulated a variety of techniques to help out. I'll go into some of these in more detail in later videos, but here's one technique and two mantras that help me out when turbulence hits. In moments of fear on a plane, it's easy for me to get lost in my own head and feel like I'm losing control over my emotions and my body. One way I've found that helps me center myself is to concentrate on my breathing. At times, I'll use the Breathe app on my Apple Watch to help me center myself, but recently, I've turned to the 4-7-8 breathing technique. I breathe in through the nose for 4 seconds, hold it in for 7 seconds, and exhale through the mouth for 8 seconds. I do this as many times as I need to, and after a while, it takes the edge off the nervousness I feel during turbulence. Each bump is a little less fearful when I'm doing my breathing. It's also better than the Apple Watch because I don't have to rely on external technology like the watch. I can do it all on my own. The second and third techniques are two mantras that I repeat to myself over and over. I learned these from watching some great videos by an Australian therapist named Les Posen. He focuses on helping people overcome their flight anxieties, and his videos have been a fantastic resource for me. I've even downloaded some of his videos onto my phone and will listen to them on an actual flight. You can find links to his videos on the screen, as well as in the description of this video. The first mantra is pretty simple. Flying is inherently safe. This is a foundational one and something that I repeat over and over again. My rational brain believes it right off the bat, but repeating it as a mantra helps the irrational side of me, the anxious flyer in me, believe it as well. Flying is inherently safe. The second one is turbulence specific. Turbulence, while uncomfortable, is not unsafe. I find it helpful to repeat this to myself not only during the flight itself, but several days beforehand as well. Turbulence, while uncomfortable, is not unsafe. Finally, I take everything I learned about turbulence and how to manage my fear of it, and I practice those skills in virtual reality. I load up a flight and set it on autopilot and sit down in a seat in the cabin. When the plane jostles and moves, or when I see the wings start to flex, I do my breathing techniques. Flying is inherently safe. Flying is inherently safe. Flying is inherently safe. Now maybe a little breathing. Inhale for 4 seconds. Hold it in for 7 seconds. And exhale through the mouth for 8 seconds. Finally, a little reassurance. Turbulence, while uncomfortable, is not unsafe. Turbulence, while uncomfortable, is not unsafe. Turbulence, while uncomfortable, is not unsafe. I practice these as many times as I need to, role-playing the idea that I'm on a real flight and that I can manage my stress and anxiety. All these tools, educating myself about flying, using mantras and breathing to calm myself, and practicing in virtual reality, all serve to help me feel in control and to reduce my fear of flying. For helpful links to resources I talked about here, please check out the video description. If you have any personal experiences or thoughts, I'd love to hear them in the comments. And of course, if you like this video and would like to see more content like this, hit those like and subscribe buttons below the videos. Please keep in mind I'm not a licensed therapist or mental health professional. These videos document my personal experience and should be taken as entertainment only.